Hey guys, it's Nolan. It's Tuesday the 7th of June 2022. Hope you guys are doing really well. I'm going to go through some charts of interest, charts that I'm looking at the moment. Before I do, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you could do that, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Also, give us a like. And if you know any traders that may be interested in the videos that we put out and our analysis, then please share our videos with them as well. So that'd be great. We'd love to get our subscribers up even more than they are already. So if you could do that for us, that would be brilliant. So I'm going to start off with Aussie Swiss actually. Now I talked about Aussie Swiss back on my YouTube video on the 30th of May. Just looking at it now, it's called the Week Ahead Market Outlook 30th of May. I'll put a link to that at the end of the video actually. Price on Aussie Swiss was about 68,895, so somewhere around this zone here. I predicted that price would hit or reach the top of this channel, where it would either start to reverse and we'll look for another move down, because what we actually have here is a bearish structure. It's making lower highs, lower lows, or it could break out, because when you look at it at the bigger picture, it actually looks like what we would call a bullish flag pattern, or it's called a continuation pattern, because basically it forms after an impulse, and we would expect price to then break out and continue in the same direction of the impulse that preceded it. So we have an impulse of buying here, a correction, and we would expect at some point price to break out. And I've got this little zone marked out here, previous resistance, where price could come and test. It may even break higher, who knows, but certainly this would be an area where we'd be looking to take profit if price did break out. So it's come pretty much to the top of this channel. You know, it doesn't have to touch this trend line exactly. It's in an area now where we should be kind of sitting on our hands really and just waiting to see what happens. Are we going to get an impulsive move that breaks out? We'll look for a correction pattern or a pullback into averages if you use moving averages, and then we'll look for a buy setup. Or do we just totally reverse? Okay, we can see here where it reversed, it formed a little correction, push down, little correction, push down, little correction. Then we get this bigger correction here before it makes a bigger impulse correction and a final impulse here. This move down was very sharp, and you weren't going to be able to really trade this on the 4-hour time frame if you were looking for a correction. It just dropped. I'm not too sure what happened actually here, but it just dropped, as you can see. Probably if you were a breakout trader, you might have been able to trade this, but if you're looking for a correction, so I can see, look, price moved up, found a support, moved up, found that support again, and then we had these false breaks, and then boom, this candle. So unless you may have had a sell stop underneath these lows here, pretty much you might not have caught that move. That's of course on, you know, on the 4-hour time frame. If you're looking at the, let's have a look, 15-minute time frame, for instance. Actually, let's just mark it out so we know, you know, where we're looking. We're looking at basically this move here. Let's go on the 15. So yeah, okay, looking at the 15, you can see move down here, little correction, move down, little correction pattern, another move down. So there's lots and lots of small correction patterns there. Let me just put the moving averages on. I'm just going to put that box back actually, because otherwise I'm going to lose my place where I'm looking at. You know, if you use moving averages, this was a beautiful chart actually. You know, I personally like to look for pull back into the 20 moving average. On these smaller time frames, anything lower than H4, so H1, M30, M15, you know, I've got my 50 moving average in red, I've got my 20 in blue, I've got my 8 in black, and that's what works for me. I'm looking for a pullback into the averages, and I'm looking for sellers to come in, and there was a number of occasions where that happened, but yeah, very, very quick moving, sharp moving price action there. 1 hourly, if I was trading this on the 1 hourly, there wouldn't have been a setup for me, okay, because it literally did not come into that 20 moving average. It was just bouncing off that 8 moving average. So you would need to be in trading very, very smaller time frames. So you don't know what's going to happen, how price is going to move, how impulsively. This could have been news related, I don't know. I'm not even going to check, but you are dealt the cards you're given, or you're dealt the hand that you are given, and you trade accordingly. So if we're going to be looking to sell this, obviously we want to see a change in cycle. We don't want to predict the top of a move. Often traders do try and do that, and will often fail. I would suggest over 50% of the time. If you're going to try and predict a top here, you need to be looking for change in cycle on a smaller time frame, and being very, very aggressive with your trade management. Otherwise, you want to see a clear break of the trend line, a correction. I don't know why I'm drawing it like that. If I just use my arrow here, you want to see a break of the trend line, impulse down, corrective pattern, maybe coming into the moving averages if that's what you use, which is similar to what I do. And yeah, you'd be looking for that impulse down, and you'd see another correction potentially, and you'd be looking for another move down. Okay, so that's if price is going to reverse from the top here. We don't know that is what it's going to do. This is why we're going to sit and wait. But if price continues to move impulsively to the upside, breaking out of this structure, then we'll look for something like this. If we pretend that this was the impulse breaking out the structure, look, it pulls back into the averages, then we start to see buyers come in again. Okay, that's what we'll be looking for, something like this. Big impulse of buying, price pulls back into the averages, then we start to see buyers come in again. So that's what we'll be looking for if price breaks out of the structure. Where it is now, you just want to leave it alone. Okay, you just want to have it on your watch list and keep an eye on it. Okay, maybe there's certainly, I don't think there'd be any kind of setup today. Maybe not even tomorrow, but worth having a look, but certainly not today. Just keep an eye on it, see what happens with price. Now, it might be that the Australian dollar becomes particularly strong. It might be that the Swiss franc becomes particularly weak. It might be a combination of both. That's if it breaks to the upside. Of course, we could have the opposite of that. We could have a strong Swiss and a weak Aussie, and we could see it reverse. So just keep your eyes on it. It's one of interest. There's a decent amount of pips from the breakout here up into resistance. There's also an even more decent amount of pips for the reversal back to support here. So keep your eyes on that one. Gonna have a quick look at Kiwi USD, because Kiwi USD has come into a very, very nice area here on H4. We can see this previous area of support here. Price broke out of broke this support yesterday, and now it is retesting. So this would be a great area to start looking for sellers to come into the market. We've got 4-hour bearish moving averages as well. So instead of, we know that on the 4-hour, this is in a very interesting area to look for shorts. But you could then drop down to potentially the 1 hour or a smaller time frame. And again, I've got my moving averages on here. Like I say, anything less than a H4. So H4 and daily, I personally use a 20 and an 8. Anything lower than that, I stick on a 50 moving average just for extra confirmation of the to make sure that the move is strong enough. And when I say the move is strong enough, I mean I want to see all of those moving averages in the correct order. Okay, so if I'm looking at selling, I want to see the 50 above the 20 and the 20 above the 8 with some nice separation between them and angle, okay, pointing downwards for a downtrend, pointing upwards for an uptrend and looking to buy. So at the moment, price has, on the H4, we've seen that price has pulled back into a nice little zone of previous support, okay, which is this zone here. So that's where we are at the moment. If we're looking to sell this, and if this zone, I'm going to leave it on actually, if this zone will, you know, where it was support now becomes resistance, well, we want to start looking for sellers to enter the market. So what I'd be looking for, me personally, I'd like to see an evening star pattern in this area with price, or the third candle of the evening star, closing below, a bearish close below this 8 moving average. That is what I look for, okay? So, and it has to have interacted with the 20 moving average, which it has done. Price has pulled back into the 20. So in my eyes, that has pulled back enough, and now I'd be looking for sellers. Now, whether you do that on the hourly, whether you do that on the 15, you know, that is totally up to you. But this is in a great zone where we could start to see the next move to the downside. Also got a trend line here. You know, price could actually pull up into that trend line if it wanted to, okay? But if it does that, then we're going to see buying momentum here, and I'm not interested in that. I'm only interested in, at the moment anyway, my bias is to look for shorts on Kiwi dollar. So I'll be looking for sellers to enter the market. If they don't, and maybe we break out of this zone, then I'll have to change my bias or re-look at the currency pair to try and establish what's actually going on. So keep an eye on Kiwi dollar. It's in a lovely zone at the moment, and yeah, we could see a reversal there. So keep a lookout for that. Euro CAD. Bear with me. Euro CAD. So yeah, this is a trade that we took earlier actually. Bear with me a second, guys. Yeah, okie dokie. It's all right. I've got 4 screens in front of me, so I am multitasking at the moment. Obviously, I'm trading myself and recording this video at the same time. Anyway, this is another currency pair which I've talked about previously. It's in a bit of a range. Well, not a bit of a range, it is in a range between 137.50 here and 134 down at the bottom. And you can see it bouncing up and down, bouncing up and down. I predicted that price was going to come back and retest 134, where we would either be looking for it to break out or looking for it to reverse again, and we can trade it back towards 137.50. So price is very close to, it's at 134.17 at the moment. You know, these lows are at 134. So it's got about 17 pips or so to go. We took a trade earlier. I'll just show you the trade that is running at the moment. Basically, we sold underneath this candle here. If I just take off the moving averages, we've got our impulse, we've got our corrective structure. Some of our members sold underneath this evening star pattern here. I just waited for the confirmation and close below this CTL and sold underneath there. So that is currently around 28.8 or 28 pips up at the moment. And so that is, I'd say, about 0.79, 0.8 to 1 in profit. I've got stops at break even on this one. And I'm just going to let that run. 134 is down here. A potential 1.22 to 1, which isn't bad for a day's trading. Let me just sync this over so you can see the area. We are in an area where we can stop and reverse, but we think it could come and test that 134 lows like it did, you know, the previous time here, 17th of May, and here 29th of April. So that is running. That was sent out to our members earlier on. So I'm sure they're pretty happy. 30 pips in profit at the moment. So for you guys, you know, you want to monitor, again, you know, it's like Aussie Swiss. I wouldn't get involved with looking to trade that at the moment. And I wouldn't look to get involved with Euro CAD at the moment. Yeah, it might be tempting just to jump in, you know, if prices are, by the time I get this video out to you at 134.13, thinking you could nick, you know, 13 pips as it drops to 1.34. I wouldn't bother doing that, guys. You know, it's in a very, you know, unless you're in this trade already, just forget about it. Watch what happens at 134. Do we break out? If we do, we want to see a correction pattern and sellers come into the market again. Otherwise, price could reverse. We want to see an impulse. We want to see a correction, and then we're going to look to buy. Look, impulse, correction, bit of a big correction actually, and then it went here, impulse, correction, and it went, and another correction, and it went. So we're looking for something very, very similar if, you know, we're going to buy again. Okay, so another one just to keep your eyes on. Oops, change my color scheme, do apologize. So yeah, Euro CAD, great zone. Keep your eyes on it, see what happens, and just wait it out. One more chart to look at, NASDAQ. This is one that I'm just monitoring at the moment because, as you can see on this daily chart, price is consolidating at the moment. And that's also indicated by the fact that these moving averages here on the daily have gone flat. When price is moving, when price is moving with direction, I should say, you'll have the moving averages opening up. There'll be a gapping between them. They'll be at an angle, and as you can see, a very, very nice downtrend here. Moving averages are pointing downwards with the 20 above the 8. Here, look, moving averages are flat. This is no trading for me on this one at the moment. But what I am predicting, whether it happens or not is a different kettle of fish, but what I am predicting is that we will potentially push up to this trend line here, because we've bounced off this, what I would call an anchor trend line. It's resistance here, support. We've had an impulse. This could be a consolidation. Do you remember that consolidation on, or correction on Aussie Swiss, where we're looking potentially for it to break out the top? Well, this could do exactly the same here. Let's just, so basically we've had an impulse, we've got this kind of consolidation. That's what we're doing that's what we're doing at the moment, and then we could break to the upside. And what I'm looking at is basically, you know, that to kind of happen there. This is our consolidation, and then eventually I would like to see it break to the upside and retest this trend line. But at the moment, it's literally not doing anything. On a smaller time frame though, you can see that it is finding support in this zone here. Okay, so nice little area on a smaller time frame to, you know, to buy from. And we've had, you can see it came into this zone here, nice big 4-hour candle. So literally, you know, if you were looking at that zone, or you had your alert set, that would have been a lovely place to buy from. Otherwise, it is a kind of, you know, just wait for it. Wait for it to break out in either direction, because, you know, I've got my bias that I'm looking for upside, but this could equally break downside to the downside as well. So I am looking at this as basically a box range. I'm not going to trade it where it is. Some people might want to trade this from here up to here. This would have been the perfect place to trade it from, to be honest with you. But, you know, if we're going to go long, let it break out, look for that first correction, maybe a retest of structure, and then look to go long when we see buyers come in, and then I'll be looking to trade up to this trend line there. Okay, so Aussie Swiss, keep your eyes on it. Euro CAD, keep your eyes on it. That's really, really close to the zone. You can see it's at 134.12. 134 is the zone where we'll be watching to see what happens. NASDAQ, my bias is to look for buys, but I will wait for the price action first. Okay, I'm not going to get involved until then, because basically it's just consolidating. It's not really doing anything. Even here, look guys, it didn't even come to the top of structure. So if you went for a buy here thinking you're going to get it, even making some pips as it moves up to the top, well, you don't even know that it will. It didn't here, look. So I would just wait this one out. Wait for the clear breakout, impulsive move, look for a correction, and then look to get long when you see those buyers come in. Cool, so that's it from me. I will see you in the next video that I do for you. Look out for the next video, which will probably be from Mark tomorrow, I would expect. And don't forget to subscribe, guys. That'd be absolutely fantastic. And until I see you again, safe trading, and catch you later. Bye.